We live in crazy times, man. Propaganda has broken people's brains so viciously that they watch Donald Trump being charged with 34 felonies based off of an 8-year-old misdemeanor. At the same time, they watch a federally appointed special counsel release a report containing hundreds and hundreds of Joe Biden's crimes, but then decline to prosecute him because he's just an old, well-meaning guy with a poor memory. And the jury would pity him too much, or whatever they said. And now, after what he personally calls an exoneration, Joe Biden is now asserting executive privilege to make sure that you never get to hear him answering the special counsel's questions. I'm sorry, man, but executive privilege does not cover a conversation about something that you did before you were the executive. And Jim Jordan, he is not going to accept this.
Now, didn't the issue of, for example, you're the chairman of a committee. We have, last time I checked, we have 3 co-equal branches of government, and that your branch of government, you're a member of Congress, the legislative branch, that you would have oversight over the executive branch, and that would be part of Congress's role, correct?
Sure is. One of our constitutional duties is to do oversight of the executive branch and the agencies that fall under our jurisdiction, Homeland Security, and, of course, the Department of Justice.
All right. Can you then, Jim Jordan, Congressman, can you explain to me, based on what you just said, how it is that the Garland actually mentioned the political impact of the tape early on when the request came in to turn that tape over and transcript over that they didn't want to turn over, that it might have an impact on the election? Because withholding it sounds to me like he's trying to tip the election or the scales of the election in favor of his boss, Joe Biden.
Yeah, and you just played that. They said Biden and the Attorney General said they want to be independent and impartial. Okay, that's what we're supposed to evaluate. That's part of our oversight. What we do know is you've charged President Trump with a crime on the classified documents issue, and you didn't charge Joe Biden. Are you really being impartial, particularly when on page 1 of Robert Hur, the special counsel's report, he says Joe Biden knowingly kept and Joe Biden knowingly disclosed classified information. On page 231 of his report, he said Joe Biden had strong motivations for ignoring classified procedures. He knew he was writing a book for which he got paid an $8 million advance. So we have motive, an $8 million motive. We have the elements of the crime met, but Robert Hur says we're not going to bring a charge. We're not going to recommend charges because he's a forgetful, elderly gentleman. Okay, so give us all the evidence. And by the way, Joe Biden's already waived executive privilege when he released everything, including the transcript. We just want the best evidence so we can evaluate if, in fact, the Department of Justice is truly being independent and impartial, which is our job under the Constitution. That's why we held him in contempt, and it passed out of committee earlier today.
Unfortunately, most people don't understand any of these things. You know, most people actually aren't even aware of most of these things. But believe it or not, there are actually people that are pretty well versed on what the Hur report actually said and really do believe that Joe Biden is innocent, that the 50 years of stolen documents that he never once had the authority to possess, even when he had the authority to view them, he couldn't take them home. They think it's all perfectly fine because as soon as he decided that he was going to try and send Donald Trump to federal prison for paperwork, well, he went through his things and he fully complied and fully cooperated, whatever that even means. They actually believe this. And that's what the rest of us want to hear. We just want to hear that cooperation. And I don't believe answering questions about 50 years of theft has anything to do with executive privilege of the president. You know, executive privilege does not mean privilege from being embarrassed. But that's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.